Hello and welcome to the Debrief on the Blood Red channel. I'm Paul Gorst, the Liverpool ECHO's LFC correspondent. I'm here with Goals Neil Jones, formerly of the Echo Parish, of course. We've just watched Liverpool go 19 points clear at the top of the Premier League. It sounds remarkable when you say it out loud. Goals from Mohamed Salah and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain have done the damage to David Moyes' side. Neil, ultimately a bit routine?
A bit routine, yeah, very routine probably. I mean, you and I have got used to having to do a few rewrites in the last 20 minutes of games or games being in the balance, but this was one where it felt to me like as soon as Liverpool got the opening goal, the game was going to be dead, and it was pipe and slippers time for a lot of the game, wasn't it? And you look at the way the West Ham fans behave. Really, I'm used to going to place when it was at Upton Park, and fervent atmosphere and real test of your character and your mettle and that kind of thing, and just wasn't the case here. It really is when you come to this stadium, and the manner in which Liverpool played was reflective of that. Really, they were, if anything, their only danger was complacency and being too comfortable. They were, second half at times they were a little bit loose, and Alisson had to get them out of jail a couple of times. But really, you always got the impression that if West Ham had scored one, Liverpool would have stepped it up again, and they were in second gear, but they were still a fair few gears above West Ham.
So Liverpool up to 70 points now. We're not even at the end of January. Chelsea in fourth are on 40.
Yeah.
Liverpool have got twice as many points. Well, they've got more than twice as many points than Manchester United. Do you think, are we taking all this for granted, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, the Liverpool fans, in the away end, just over to my left there, they were singing we're going to win the league and now you're going to believe us. I think Jurgen Klopp was doing his fist pumps at the end, which he hasn't done for a few weeks. I think they appreciate, every win feels like a big one, but really, Manchester City need Liverpool to lose 7 games between now and the end of the season. Liverpool have lost 7 games in total since the start of 2017, which is, they need to lose 3 seasons worth of games in 4 months. It isn't going to happen. I don't want to. You can bring this back in May if something catastrophic happens and say, but the league's pretty much done and dusted. It has been for a while, I feel, and now it is about enjoying this Liverpool team, because this is the first time they created history tonight. The first time they've ever beaten all their opponents in a league season, in a top flight league season. That's 19. The other 19 teams have all been beaten, laid waste to the competition, and I think you can't not appreciate what they're doing. I think even rival fans, as much as we get the tainted title and the Liverpool and all that rubbish, I think people, they're starting to accept it. And I think you got the West Ham fans tonight accepting it, really, that they didn't believe that their team could lay a glove on Liverpool. I think we've seen that before with Sheffield United. I've seen that with them. Even Manchester United to a degree. They just don't believe they can compete with this Liverpool team, and that's the respect that they've earned and the respect that they deserve.
I mean, you talk about 19 here. It seems to be the magic number at the moment, doesn't it? 19 teams beaten, 19 points clear, league title 19 in sight. You had a little feeling, didn't you, that maybe Klopp, he hasn't said it obviously because he's never going to, but you got the feeling that maybe even he thinks it's done and dusted now? Yeah,
he'd never admit it. I don't think any of his players would either, and rightly so, because we've seen enough times where words come back and bite people. As I say, I don't think it would happen this season. I think it's too far gone, but I just thought it was significant the way he went to the away fans. Remember he was sort of asked by the Sky cameras, I think, a while back, and he said, "I'm not a clown. I don't just do it for when it needs to be done." But even after United, he wasn't. His celebrations were relatively sort of straightforward. Wolves, he were relatively straightforward. Even at Tottenham, it was just business really, and that one was a bit more behind it. And I think it's because level games now, the game in hand that people have been saying he's got a game in hand. Well, it's gone now, and they won it. They've won 23 out of 24 games, and you look at that league table. You look at if they beat Southampton on Saturday to 22 points before City kick a ball, and then away at Tottenham on Sunday. Well, who knows where this lead could end. I mean, Liverpool are probably going to get in excess of 100 points. They're probably going to break that record that City set a few years back. They have a very good chance of going the whole season unbeaten. They have a very good chance of winning the Champions League. Why wouldn't you celebrate? Why wouldn't you be happy? And it is nice sometimes to get a reminder from the manager that it does mean a lot to him. It's not just a case of the next one. We know the message, they keep hammering home, but I think it's nice to see that little show of passion as well.
And some more good news as well on the injury front. Fabinho played around about half an hour, was it? Naby Keita come on for his first appearance of the year. Coming back at just the right time with the Champions League on the horizon. Yeah,
especially in that midfield area, because you look at the workload that Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum have had to get through really, and they always seem to do it, don't
Yeah.
they? You know, they're the sort of marathon men of this Liverpool team, and Virgil van Dijk as well. I think it will be important because I think Liverpool should have ample opportunity really to rotate those midfielders. You know, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming into a bit of form, getting a run of consistent games, and it's good to see. Got a goal, took it nicely down this end. That's always good, but it will be nice. You know, it's easy to imagine now maybe one of those Fabinho or Keita starting at the weekend against Southampton. It's easy to imagine Norwich the following game. You know, you've got Adam Lallana to come back in, you've got James Milner to come back in, you've got Shaqiri to come back. So obviously things happen in the interim, and it wouldn't be a surprise if someone else drops out in the meantime. But I think Liverpool's options are pretty strong. You know, Minamino didn't even get off the bench tonight. You know, you got Curtis Jones got a little run out, which is great to see. You've still got strength in depth. You've still got the two centre backs who I know they had a poor game at the weekend, but they're there as well now, ready to come in. So it is it's all, you know, fingers crossed for Liverpool's sake. It's all coming back into contention at the right time with that Atletico Madrid game coming up, with, you know, the league to be wrapped up really, and maybe even if they can get through that Shrewsbury tie, you know, a nice cup tie at Chelsea as well for them to all have a go at.
Yeah, well, there you have it. West Ham 0, Liverpool 2. 8 wins from a Premier League title, the first one in 30 years, 19 points clear, 19 teams beaten. League title number 19 is now in sight.